Marianne.
Do we know what day it is?
McCulloch. No, we don't know what day it is, but I can look at that. But I wanted to say that all this time I've been saying that, like, oh, MC is Scottish and MAC is Irish, and I've had it backwards this whole time. That Marianne McCulloch isn't Scottish. It is Irish. It is Irish, and I've had it wrong this whole time, and I feel rather dumb. A few other things have just came to mind, because that image that we just ended Zach's chapter with, where we got like a glimpse of like a blonde lady in the background, and then a black-haired lady like on a bed. And you were saying that this is the rich lady, and it was like Lady Elizabeth Ermengarde that the mansion was built for.
Yeah.
And Lord William.
Yeah, it looked like they were abusing her in some manner. And I'm not quite sure what her position was in the house, if she was a servant or what.
Well, probably a servant is my guess.
Unless it's like a Cinderella story where like she's like the stepdaughter and they hate her and make her live in a shack. You know, who knows?
It's some type of put into some type of servant position by some mean or another. Yeah. I think there's something else crossed my mind, but I don't remember what it was. So, if it comes relevant, maybe I'll bring it up again. Yeah. And this is, I'm assuming, Marianne's room.
Very interesting.
Either apartment.
Images throughout it.
Like the big. Okay, well, the bookshelf's opposite her bed, but the big image has me feeling pretty comfortable saying what I think has been kind of hinted at throughout the whole story.
Well, she's not one of those people, is she?
I don't. If she is, she'd be
well,
that one,
the
dark-haired one. If she is, but I don't think she's either of them. But it kind of is another thing that hints at something that's been kind of hinted at throughout the whole story.
Have they hinted at that?
They've not. Her demeanor and the way she talks and the way certain things were pointed out, like when they're on the street, and then both different times Isabella and Zach have made, in their chapters, have made mention about how Marianne's demeanor changed when Hannah entered the room or came up in conversation. Like there's a very noticeable, like, oh, kind of thing about, like, it made a point to point those out. I feel fairly strongly about that. That's probably indeed the case.
What do you think about the photo on the desk? It's kind of strange. Maybe a father? But that would be weird. Unless he's like dead or something. But
don't know. But I'm also looking at the tiny photo over the bed and wondering if that's the same two people as that are across, or what's up there. Don't know. I'm also looking at her desktop wallpaper.
It's messy.
Quantum something. Quantum suicide? That's what it looks like it says to me.
It does, yeah. I agree.
All right.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know either. Journal. Are we all the way back and it's now the 17th?
Is that how it normally happens when we open it? It opens on the day?
I think it opens on the day that it currently is. I don't know, actually. But yeah, we broke in and then that guy was all mean to us. Threw us in jail. And then the lady... Oh, that's what it was. The other thing that I'm wondering if we've been playing this wrong the whole time, in that we've been trying to find a way to keep people away from the monster.
What do you mean?
And away from the girl. Like we've done all this, like, like when Hannah was presented with going into the basement cellar in her chapter, and we were like, no, she's gonna go in there and she's gonna die. And now we had this thing with Zach where he was now like trapped in the cell and was like, there's a good chance he's dead. Maybe he isn't, but there's a good chance he's dead. And we got like a memory fragment from it. And I'm wondering if we're supposed to be leading these people to their deaths to figure out what's happening.
We can try it. Well, I mean,
I also care about some of them.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm fine with that.
I like the apparently not Scottish and is actually Irish lady But who knows, maybe she'll do something and we'll hate her now. Marianne McCullough.
She's a Cancer.
Okay, nope, she's dead. Goodbye.
30 years old. She was an architect. That's nice.
5'11", she's taller than me.
She's Irish. Oh, look at that.
Oh, hey, what do you know?
She likes country music.
Country music?
Interesting. Her likes are a little different than what I expected. She likes karaoke.
Board games, video games,
Oh
and
my
other
God.
obscure pop culture
Look at her
items.
life story. Left in a dumpster as a baby.
Oh, wow, I shouldn't laugh at that. She was found by a peddler and spent most of her childhood roaming the countryside in a beat-up van.
CPS caught on.
I believe they call it the Child Welfare and
I
Protection.
know, but whatever. She had one friend. Oh, and then he got Alzheimer's. Her dad?
Maybe that's who the picture is of.
All right. Well, she has a very sad life.
Mm-hmm.
Based on all that information, she doesn't act the way I would expect.
Mm-hmm.
But good for her.
She lives alone with her cat Bruthiel.
Mm-hmm.
And it is 7:15 p.m.
There's no clocks to know
Oh,
otherwise.
there's one right there by the bed, but we can't see it.
see it.
It's that or it's a very bizarre looking tissue box that hasn't been opened. I think it's an alarm clock. The numbers are so little on the top of my screen, and they glare at me with such intensity that I just can't hear their accusations. That she can just hear their accusations. I am late for a night out with the girls, yes, but I have a perfectly good excuse, geez. Considering I don't follow typical office hours, they really can't expect me to be able to just go as I please at 5:30 on the dot. The client is, first and foremost, my priority. I have to sit tight when my personal assistant, Chris, tells me we have a big one coming up and that I shouldn't miss this one. He knows a lot more on who's who and the what's what when it comes to these socialites, and I trust that judgment call. They really don't have time for rich people, their drama and their politics. These sort who are born with silver spoons in their mouths and who are used to wagging their silver tongues about. I let him handle the negotiating with them for the most part. Why else would I have hired him? But he totally told me he told me I'd receive a message about it an hour ago.
Now, if only he has the full shilling when it comes to the time.
Come on, I have a social life too, you know, to an extent. Sort of. Pressing my head against the table, I try to stave off an oncoming headache when the notification for a new email pops up. All I'm expecting is a, hey, this looks like a good project I found. Go send them a design or something like that. Really, that's how it often goes. Even with these rich, jammy clients who's never heard of me from their equally rich, jammy friends. What's that look you're giving me?
You're reading it wrong.
You read then.
No.
Well, then deal with me reading wrong. Even with these rich, jammy clients who's heard of me from their equally rich, jammy friends, I can't expect them to hire me right off the bat. Which is all well and good and reasonable. We figure out what they want, send them my portfolio, my drafts for their projects, my rates, and hope for the best. This is a big client, Marianne. I'll babysit Bruthiel for you. Just please take this one project, I promise. This person is huge in Luxburn. Huge in Luxburn. This email and any attachments intended solely for the use of the addressee. If you are not the intended recipient, they have been sent to you in error. Any unauthorized use of information is strictly prohibited.
I wonder if we emailed the email address listed, if it would come back to anybody.
What? Chris Oak Park at yoohoo.com?
I meant
hers.
I'm
afraid that we'll get, Nigerian princes and sexy Russian ladies that want to spend an evening with us if we email yoohoo.com.
What do you think the M. Malconia? Obviously that's hers, but that's not her name.
Why, it's mmalconia616 at xmail.com.
Yeah. It's just strange. It doesn't seem very professional. Oh, especially since... Oh, that was who... Oh, that's her personal. And then she has M. McCullough. You see on the left side under her image.
Oh, yeah. M. McCullough at xmail. Yeah, and then this is just CC'd.
Yeah, to her personal. Gotcha.
Anyway, yeah, I already read that. Okay. Mr. Parker, this is a formal request to secure the services of Marianne McCullough, hereinafter called the designer. As authorized by Hannah Wright, hereinafter called the client for interior design work at Ermengarde Mansion, Luxburn LX18 ORF, United Kingdom. I'm sure that is an address code that means something to somebody that is not me. The client hopes to have the designer here on the 21st February, with time pending. But as I open the mail and see that I've been requested by the client specifically, well, I certainly didn't expect that. And it's pretty straightforward too. Anyone else would probably be excited. They would be working with the Hannah Wright. She's just one of those rich socialites that everybody loves to talk about, no matter how hard I try to tune such nonsense out. It would have been enough time for me to reply an affirmative to Chris and leave, but he has never pleaded with me for me to take a project before. I've worked with big personalities in the past, celebrities, bankers, and even a few politicians. My PA had been indifferent about those. I'll just not even try doing that again. So the question bounced about my skull before I spy one of the email attachments. Hannah Wright and Wright Enterprise donates £2.5 million to Refugee UK. The grand opening of the new Wright Hotel last Wednesday, our local billionaire couple, Luke and Hannah Wright, announced the donation of $2.5 million to help Luxburn Refugee to keep their services open. Unexpected, but certainly welcome. Follows a month after the couple's previous donation to the same amount to the Save the Children. One of the largest donations, blah, 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 blah. Helping women, children, victims, domestic violence. Okay. Newspaper, yeah, it certainly caused quite a stir back then. Apparently, they had invited businessmen and socialites everywhere in the guise of it being some big business announcement.
$2.5 million and an expensive-looking party to boot. These people sure know how to throw their money around.
Not that I should be so callous. They're going to do a lot of good and help the community with all of those pounds. I, of all people, shouldn't criticize such acts, whether they for show or not. At the very least, I know they'll be able to pay my rates. With the headline out of the way, however, I find myself staring at a picture that came along with the clipping. Because, wow. Here I am, expecting a sour old woman in a blazer and skirt. But the woman was just plastered on the front page, looked like she belongs on the front page of an entertainment section. Or even, if I'm going to be crass, as a pinup for a glamour. Okay, I'll be real. A men's magazine. She sure knows how to rock that dress.
Well, it's the only dress she wears.
Yeah.
So...
Wait. Her hair, her eyes, her lips. She can't be her. And at the same time, she is her, only several years older. She looks just like... No, come on, Mac. The world is full of pretty blondes. It's just a coincidence. With a shake of my head, I snap out of it and reach for my phone when it buzzes, nearly falling off my chair in the process. Well, I was hoping I could knock the chair over and make a mess. Oh well. Who else would call on the other line? Who else would be on the other line but the people waiting for me?
Oh, piss. I'm so sorry, Cam. I'm on my way.
That's what I say. Yet I still don't move from my chair, face flushed and heart racing. I could only stare until I can will myself to reply that yes, I'm accepting the assignment. And it takes even more time for me just to close the image, shut down the computer, and leave. Even then, it has already burned its image into my head, no matter how much I wish it would just disappear. It makes me eager for the alcohol and the company. It makes me eager for anything that can help me forget. It's a good thing that the nearest pub is just a hop, skip, and a jump from here.
Have we been here before?
No,
I don't think so.
this does not look like a familiar place.
The Galway Shawl, as it's called by those who frequent this place, is the only decent Irish pub in this country. You can pretty much tell that someone is new if they call it by its official name, the Crawl Bar. My home away from home ever since I've moved to Luxbourne. Well, that is when I'm not cooped up in my condo and working anyway. It has good alcohol, good company, and thank God, and St. Cecilia, oh, good music. Crowd favorites like the Bothy Noise, the High Wesleyan Men and Second Fusion Orchestra are often played. Not to mention the singing. I love singing. Anyone could just break out into a drinking song, and the others in the pub were just wonderful that they'd start singing along. And doing so while intoxicated is the best of ways to go about it. Hey, it's a win-win as long as I don't puke in the middle of the chorus, and as long as I can get home in one piece at the end of the day. She never seemed like the drinking type.
I guess that's a win-win.
And tonight is karaoke night. What better time than to try and sing all my worries away? That's what my intoxicated brain tells me.
The ghost of guilt and sorrow remembers who I am. And in the prison of my heart, I was my only slave.
I imagine that would sound amazing if it was in the same key and in time with the background music.
I know, I was like, they don't go together. Very awkward. I'm just trying to see if the image in the back is moving at all. Like her hair is, but I don't know if her mouth was like slowly. Oh, it is.
Oh, it is.
Oh, that's so creepy.
Take a nice close look.
Yeah, like I thought it was moving, but it was like so slow, it was hard to notice. Anyways, but drinking only reminds me of my home, and the thought of home makes me think of her. I wonder if she had a flame with, Hana, somehow.
But in the depths
Oh my God.
of my cold soul, I'll leave the burden and despair.
It makes me nauseous.
The singing?
It sickens me that the smallest reminder of her can cause me such grief.
I'll fight for what's worth fighting for. Forget the fear, forget the rest.
Of course, that might be just the booze. Any other day I would have scolded myself for drinking so much.
I lied to the Lord, I lied to myself, I lied to you and everyone I care, until there were no more lies to tell.
But I already... But I already have a client, and we'll be having our first little meet and greet in a few days.
Cowardice is easier than being brave, but at last I found the strength I lost to sing my love letter to you. 'Cause people can lie, but my lone heart beats true.
Finally. I want to at least enjoy this night, get over the hangover tomorrow, and return to being a prim and proper professional after.
Oh, she's not done singing.
No, I don't think she is. Oh, she is.
Song was for Cam, our lucky bride-to-be. So give her hand, Galway shawl.
Considering the state I'm in, one can excuse my smug grin as cheers and applause rise among the pub's patrons. Because, possibly off-key public singing aside, I feel like I'm on top of the world right now, and that's a good reason as any to belt out in front of these strangers. With good drinks and good friends, there's nowhere else I'd rather be tonight. And I forget for a short while.
And that song was brought to you by Marianne McCullough, everyone! A round of applause!
McCullough.
Yeah, get it right, Haruna.
That was so good. You rock, Marianne.
Oh, please stop. You're just saying that.
You know neither of us can hold a tune, Marianne.
That voice.
A toast to our shameless drunk singer. May your drinks forever flow and your notes be ever lovely.
If anyone deserves a toast tonight, that's Cam. Finally sealed the deal after 3 years, eh?
Read 'em and weep, bitches.
Camilla's diamond engagement ring gleams as she holds it up for the world to see. She has reasons to be proud. 3 years of living together and her boyfriend finally asked her the big question. Obviously, she said yes.
Don't get too attached to that ring or the one after, sweetie. I was wearing a wedding ring not so long ago and look at where I am.
Wow.
Enough of me being a downer. Cheers to a happy engagement!
Thanks for the endorsement.
Of course, if something like Haruna's divorce were to happen, I'd be there for Cam. Just as Cam had been there for me, acting more than just my yoga instructor, I can't be happier for my friend right now.
Cheers!
Cheers.
Well, we both will be there for Cam, won't we? Haruna and I? Haruna, it's been a real bad year for her ever since her divorce. She's such a nice person, even loaning me money to open a studio, and she didn't deserve what her husband had pulled. I'm happy she's smiling again and peeing out like she used to. I think we've all missed our Japanese firecracker. We met in yoga class, something I had joined to keep myself in shape and, well, honestly, so that I could make friends when I had moved to Luxbourne. Clearly it worked like a charm. And it definitely didn't have anything to do with the fact that I brought along my lucky D20 die with me on that first day. No, sir. I love these girls so much.
What about you, Marianne? You're 30 years old and you still haven't got yourself a man.
Thanks, Mom. I just imagine that's what she'd say if she had parents.
Oh,
sorry.
burn. That's mean.
And you guys know I have a very busy schedule. I don't have time for that.
Oh, come on! That's a lame excuse and you know it!
Everyone's face changed.
You need a man who'll take care of you and you need it now! Maybe some hunk who'll be your house hubby while you rake in the dough.
I'm quite capable of taking care of myself. Who needs a Mr. Right?
They obviously don't know her appeal to the same gender.
Well, I was going to say, like, you can sign me up. I'll be the stay-at-home husband.
Hey, look at me. I'm Marianne McCullough, a lawful neutral cleric with 9 points in wisdom and 8 in charisma, but I can't get myself a date.
I mentioned druids and demons once. Once. They don't even know the rules or understand what the numbers mean. And I certainly am not some sort of holy person. I am a far cry from a miracle worker, and I barely have the willpower to fight off demons, especially my own.
Actually, maybe she isn't looking for a Mr. Right, but a Mrs. Right.
There you go.
Oh, my Marianne, we still love you even if you're in the closet.
That would explain some things. Haruna, you don't have a ring anymore. Maybe you two can be together and I don't have to worry about my best girls being alone.
What are you on about? There's nothing to explain.
But the more I deny, the louder they tease until the other people in the pub start to watch. It doesn't help at all when Haruna drapes her arm over my shoulders and leans in.
Will I be all yours then? Will you be making me feel like a woman?
I know that they're just kidding around, but this doesn't make me comfortable in the slightest. So when Camilla notices my silence and Haruna sees the expression on my face, they stop. And when the awkward air settles over us, the rest of the pub goes back to whatever they were doing before the whole thing ever happened. They probably won't even remember it when they wake up with massive hangovers anyway.
Sorry.
Me too.
Hey, no hard feelings, right?
I raise my glass. They smile. We drink. There's no need to say more. We're all definitely far too drunk tonight. Eventually, the fun times end. It is a weekday after all. And with Haruna being a nurse, she still has to get ready for her next shift. Cam also has a loving fiance waiting for her at home, and I really didn't have to make a fuss about having left some buns in the oven when... What? Oh, okay. Sorry. And really didn't have to make a fuss about having left some buns in the oven when she took off early. Sorry. Really, I understand. I was the one who insisted, who was determined to get pissed drunk anyway. Moving to the bar, I sit. Alone at last. Alone with a stranger.
Mr. Right.
Yeah. I haven't seen him here before. Obviously not a regular. He hasn't said a word and just sits there, savoring his drink. With his whiskey served neat in one hand and lighter in the other. It doesn't seem like he's noticed me yet, and maybe I should go before he does look my way. Because he was pretty and he was blonde, and those things plus alcohol never did me any good. A thought too late. Judging by the way his flushed face and the dazed look in his eyes, he's as pissed drunk as I am. But whereas I feel like keeling over, he looks like he's still ready to take the catwalk by storm. Really, he just has the air of one of those men who think they own the world.
Hello there, sexy. Please don't stand up on my account. I already like what I see.
Oh, jeez.
Fancy a drink? It'll be on me.
But then again, I might be pleasantly surprised if he proves me wrong.
Want some between the sheets? Sex on the beach? I'm talking cocktails, of course.
Fat chance. But it doesn't matter, we both know how to play this game. And there are two different ways for the night to end. One thing or another is going to happen. The question is, what do I want to do?
Oh no, that's fine. I'd rather order some blue balls or some AMF if you don't mind.
He looks like he's about to say some witty retort, but stops himself and downs the rest of his whiskey. I order a mint julep.
Is that her julep?
Yeah. He gets another whiskey and we start the customary small talk. Of course, the saying, ask me no questions and I'll tell you no lies, goes without saying. We ask nothing about each other, offering up falsehoods to establish a strenuous, fake connection between two strangers at a pub, if only to pass the time. Whiskey, as I have come to call him, is supposedly 21 years old, single, takes care of his sick mother, and is a manager of some sort. Manager of what? I didn't care to listen to the details. Meanwhile, Mint, as he has come to call me, is 29, and I'm... What did I say I was again? Oh yes, I told him that I was a professional chocolate taster, because fuck it. If I'm going to lie about what my job is, might as well make it fun.
Here's to that.
It's a pretty decent chat between two pretty drunk strangers. And maybe it's just me, but we might as fucking well expend the tiniest amount of effort in pretending there's something meaningful in this meeting. Would have been nice, too, if it was all just left at that. But during a lull in the conversation, he brings it up.
You know, I've never been with a woman taller than me.
And to think he might have been different from the rest.
Never have and never will, whiskey. Can we go back to the history of chocolates? Did you know that chocolate candy was introduced in 19th century England as a healthier alternative to alcohol?
St. Lucy was the most beautiful woman of her time. She had men come from the four corners of the world just to see the pure light of her exquisite green eyes. If she were so lucky, anyway.
No, enough of the history lesson.
He's pissed, look at his fist.
He's just showing off his long digits.
Come on, Mint. You know and I know what you came here for.
Though not every suitor was gallant, and she was no fool, she had known that sooner or later she wouldn't be able to defend her chastity.
Come on. There must be something that gets you going.
It has to be so awkward when she starts working for them. That's all I'm imagining right now.
It's that or they're literally both too drunk to remember it.
So she had taken out a knife and gouged out her own eyes.
There is something, but I don't think you can handle it.
Impressed with her devotion, God restored her eyes and made her... God restored her eyes and made them more beautiful than before. He has a peculiar sense of humor, hasn't he? Because that only meant suitors kept going after Lucy, and she kept her eyes in a chalice to scare them away.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I can handle whatever it is.
Saint Lucy, help me. Help me turn away from sin. Help me with my own blindness.
My place isn't too far from here. I won't take care of you if it ends up being too much for you. And no one will be able to hear you if you try to scream. You sure you want to go down that road, pretty boy?
Wouldn't have it any other way.
Well, the best thing about having my condo so close to the pub is the ease of access. As long as I can still stand and walk, I can make it home. Maybe I'd need help from a kind neighbor or two to help me with the last leg if I've really gone overboard on the alcohol. But I always made it home. Sometimes with company. Of course, that always comes with complications, especially with the real clingy ones. But it isn't anything a good tip about stalkers to the building security can't fix. I'm always nervous, though, even if this isn't the first time I've done this. And the first few minutes when we enter my room are the first few agonizing minutes where I try not to panic. Okay, Max, so far so good. Don't let him smell your fear under all that liquid courage.
Liquor courage.
Well, the same thing, really. He'll leave sooner or later and I'll never have to see him again, just like every other man before him. I'd like to say to myself that the men I've brought to my place were more scared than I was. Yet there is no fear when I look into Whiskey's eyes, only delight. When he starts touching me, I don't even hesitate when I push him against the door. Roughness is to be expected. I'm so uncomfortable. And as long as he sticks to the script, everything will go smoothly. We'll have our little tumble in the sheets. He'll leave, we'll forget about it. If somebody asked what I really wanted, I would have told them that I wanted a bed of roses, chocolates and music, maybe an Irish castle. But all I really want is her, and that's never going to be a reality. That was my fault, of course. Because I was afraid. Because I was a coward. It would never hold a candle up to her. She was the light of my life. And I had to let her go. I can't even be bothered about the thought of her. Just the single thought of her makes my resolve to see this affair through waver.
Wait.
What is it now?
Yes, what is it now? What is it gonna be, Marianne? To sex or not to sex? That is the question.
Oh, God.
What do you think? I think nothing, never mind.
I like how I like how wrong is capitalized, because it'll be like, no, I'm right. Mr. Right.
Well, okay,
No,
so she'll say this is wrong, and he'll be like, oh, come on. If she says nothing, never mind.
Well, here, this might be a bait and switch where this is wrong, and there's like, yes, it is, and then oh, nothing, never mind, and then he's just put off.
See, I want them to do it because I want it to be really awkward for them when she works for them. But
All right.
I'm not sure which answer gets us there. Because if she says nothing, never mind, I'm not quite sure how drunk he is, if he'll be like, no, what's wrong? Or if he won't care.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever.
Okay.
You could just flip a coin for all I care.
No, we'll go with what you first said. Nothing, never mind.
Nothing, never mind.
Well, don't say it like that. To hell with it, it doesn't matter. I'm just doing this for the exact same reason I brought a man home before, and the one before that. I didn't care about any of them. They were all nothing. Less than nothing. We part for air, and he all but rips my belt off without even bothering to take off his own jacket. We somehow make it safely into my bed, and I don't even feel it as he pins me down. Oh. This isn't about pleasure. It is about punishment. There's nothing gentle about the kiss between us. It's all tongue, teeth, and roaming hands. There's no passion, only a need. I'm so sorry. I don't know about him, but I'm not doing this to feel good. I'm not some nymphomaniac who gets wet at the thought of bringing random strangers to my place for a lay. It's ridiculous how, under the professional facade I like to put up, I do these sordid things. If any of my clients can see Marianne McCullough now, all boozed up and having rough sex with some bloke from the bar, well, that's none of their fucking business, really. But still, everything after is a drunken blur. Not that there's much to remember in the first place. These one-night stands were always the same, empty, meaningless sex. Flesh coming together, smelling of booze and sweat.
Mother of God, pray for us sinners.
That'd be very strange. I'm too busy trying to remember her hands touching during it all. I'm trying to remember her lips that kissed me. But how can I remember something that never happened?
Wait. Hannah had once mentioned something in passing about a roommate. That's all. That is all.
I don't remember that. Do you hear the dog?
Is the dog barking?
She's whining at the door.
Oh.
When all is said and done, all he have to say is...
You were saying something while we were at it. What were you mumbling?
It was a prayer.
God save me, no.
Like, oh God, fuck me? I like it.
No, it was a real prayer. A prayer for forgiveness. Because as I lie down in my bed while he gets up to leave, I can feel my sins crawling on my back like spiders, filling me with their venom. I feel an itch that made me want to scratch my skin until it bleeds, while my heart pounds in my ears. I can't even register what Whiskey says when he whispers his goodbye.
Thanks for the good time, Marianne.
He knows your name. ... I feel like he knew exactly who she was the whole time. That's my thought.
Maybe.